1977, tudo seco no Nordeste. Foi o tempo que eu saí de lá, à procura de um lugar. Iaco, Acre, Alto Purus, Peru, Bolívia e mares azuis. Muito tempo antes viemos também dos Andes. 1877, las secas tudo que se me ofrece, los seringueiros perecem. Estou acá, estou allá, estou além de ustedes. Agora, 100 anos depois, a mata pega fogo, eu sei que sou dois. Sou ainda quem ficou lá, sou também quem veio pra cá, pra cá. 1877, tudo seco no Nordeste. Foi o tempo que eu saí de lá, à procura de um deserto mais ocidental. Faz 100 anos que isto aconteceu. Outra vez não tenho nada de meu. Agora a mata pega fogo e eu quero ir. Sei, não tenho mais onde fugir, fugir. 1977 é quando tudo começa. Seringa, bala e coisa e tal. Essa história acaba mal.
The extractive reserve is the best way to preserve the forest and the life of rubber tappers. Based on this thought by the ecologist and tappers leader Chico Mendes, the National Council of Rubber Tappers got, after many struggles, that extractive reserves were created, a kind of reserve devoted exclusively to extractive purposes. In order to meet the demands by the National Council of Rubber Tappers, the Brazilian Institute for the Environment and Renewable Natural Resources, IBAMA, demarcated the extractive reserves. Today, these reserves encompass an area of 2.62 million hectares in the region known as Legal Amazon in Brazil, benefiting hundreds of families in the region. Extractive reserves guarantee the rubber tappers who extract latex from the trees the utilization of their own methods of forest exploitation, thus freeing them from any obligation with the seringalista, a sort of agent who works for the supposed owner of the forestal areas where rubber trees grow. The seringalista also plays the role of a middleman, buying the latex from the rubber tappers, reselling the partially processed rubber to industries, and selling food and other goods necessary to the survival of the people who work in the forest. The price control of latex and the goods obtained by rubber tappers usually keep them in permanent debt from the seringalista, submitting them to a relation similar to that of slavery. Chico Mendes, Raimundo Barros, Osmarino Amâncio, and Gumercindo in Acre Valley, Antônio Macedo, Chico Ginu, and others in Juruá Valley struggled to change that terrible situation, which was only achieved after Chico Mendes' death, murdered by the opponents of his ideas. However, his principles prevailed, and the model of reserve, now adopted in Brazil, is provided with all the conditions to meet the rights and needs of that unique type of manual worker. In the extractive reserves, forests with rubber trees are marked and considered a property of the federal government, thus handing over the management rights to rubber tappers. In return, they devote themselves to environmental preservation. These reserves also play an important role in the lives of rubber tappers, since they represent a kind of land reform in the area of extraction activities in Brazil. Traditionally, rubber tappers live in harmony with nature, using exploitation techniques which do not damage the environment. The first extractive reserve, Alto Juruá, in the northern state of Acre, was established in January 1990, based on surveys carried out by IBAMA, other non-governmental entities, and some ecological movements, which considered the area of 506,186 hectares recommended by the National Council of Rubber Tappers as of social and ecological interest. Surrounded by 3 Indian reserves, Alto Juruá region is one of the most preserved areas in Acre State. Rubber trees are still dominating in the region, with only a few farms scattered in the area. Chico Mendes' dream is giving way to a real change in the region. The monopoly of middlemen and alleged rubber land owners is being overthrown by rubber tappers associations and cooperatives. The rubber tappers of the Tejo region, where the extractive reserve was created in Alto Juruá, for example, have already established a cooperative enterprise, and despite many problems, they have already obtained loans from the government. With the money got, they have also established a network of rubber transport, including radios, warehouses, and ships capable of carrying up to 14 tons of the product. As a way to pay homage to Chico Mendes, a decree was signed last March creating 3 extractive reserves: Chico Mendes in Acre State, Rio Cajari in Amapá State, and Rio Ouro Preto in Rondônia State. Chico Mendes Reserve figures as the largest natural reserve in the Amazon, with 907,570 hectares. Located in the municipalities of Chapuri, Rio Branco, Brasileia, and Assis Brasil in Acre State, Chico Mendes Reserve is benefiting around 1,500 families of rubber tappers. Freed from land tenure problems, rubber tappers earn in rubber price, now sold directly through their cooperatives. In the extractive reserves, forests have their boundaries fixed, being then considered as state property, to be used exclusively by typically extractive communities. The new measure can benefit not only rubber tappers, but also other people who live in the forest and carry out collecting activities, excluding only loggers and lumber dealers. It is due to IBAMA to supervise the reserves whose self-sustainable exploitation and conservation of their natural resources will be regulated by contracts involving management concession according to legal provisions which regulate the matter. The management concession should be granted by the federal government to tappers associations and cooperative enterprises free of any charge. On the other hand, rubber tappers commit themselves to the environmental preservation of the area. The concession contract includes the management plan prepared by common agreement between the government and the parties involved in the extraction of forest products.